Recruits, welcome back to the NASDAQ Sniper Academy. In this video, you're going to be able to identify three things. Number one, a liquidity sweep. Number two, chop day. You need to know when it's a chop rangy, chop garbage day. And number three, when not to take the fair value gap play. I preach fair value gap play. I love fair value gaps, especially nice big fat ones. But on a chop, trashy chop, rangy chop day, guess what? They mean absolutely nothing. Let's take a look at the charts. Let's see what we can learn from today, April 6th, Monday, April 6th, 2026. Let's take a look. All right, recruits, here we are, April 6th, Monday, April 6th, 2026. And here's what happened. At open, this was the very first candle, right? We opened at an upside down state. What does that mean? That means the 20 SMA, which is right here, was underneath the 200 SMA. And price started underneath the 20 SMA, but pushed higher than both of them. Does that make sense? Upside down. Because when you're underneath the parent and the child, you want price to flush down. But it did the opposite. So that's an upside down. So that means we're going to have a zigzag day. That first candle told me this is not going to be an Oliver Velez day, trend day. We're going to have a zigzag day. So I'm looking for reversals. I'm looking for spots to sell. A zigzag or either a range day or a reversal day, right? So we shot up, right? We hit this level here and we came back down. So this was the top of the 5-minute ORB, opening range breakout, right? 5-minute ORB. So this is the range. This line here shows the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Price faked some people out. It poked his head right outside of the 5-minute ORB. Some breakout traders got hurt. They put their buy order right here, boom. But that was a stop raid. Took those stops and shot down, right? Then, here's where it got me though. It broke underneath the 5-minute ORB. And you would think that with this huge fair value gap right here, you would think that with this big fair value gap, let's take a look. This is what I talk about. That we'd be good for a continuation. Broke underneath, created fair value gap. But what did price do? Took out these stops, came for a big liquidity sweep. Now, normally a huge fair value gap descending from the parent, we would play this, right? We would play this and we'd ride it all the way down to the sunset. But we didn't get a closure below this line here for the confirmation. This was difficult to play. Our fair value gap was a 1, 2, 3. We needed a break of this level. So we didn't get that break. Okay. Price went up, broke to the top of the 5-minute ORB, right? I'm not buying this because I know it's going to be a zigzag day. Just because it broke to the top, I'm not expecting it to break out all day. So I put in a sell right here, right? Before this big wick came, I sold this area because I'm looking at a range. I said, okay, it's going to be a range day. This is when I knew it was going to be a range day. So I'm looking to sell the range, sell the top of the range, and buy the bottom. So I thought the top of the range was right here, but there was liquidity that I wanted to go grab. Big liquidity. This is called an inverted hammer. I want to teach you guys, if you haven't heard of this, kind of a bar. When you see a big wick like this, right? We call this a Big John Wick. Big John Wick candle. That's institutional selling right there. That's not, some small boys. Those are big boys. So once I saw that that's a big boy, big institution, just boom, dumped. That's what this candle means. You have to understand what the candles mean, right? Inverted candle. I knew that this was a huge liquidity sweep up here. When you see a candle like this, you see, push down, that means big institution. So then I said, okay, so I lost on this sell. I got stopped out. But once it pushed down, I went back in for a short. Boom, 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 right? But guess what? I'm so frustrated. I took some profit here, and I had two runners. I said, okay, I'm gonna let my runners run. One profit here, and I'm gonna let my other runner run. And I was up over $200 on this runner. I was expecting it or hoping or looking for it to come down and break these lows, because guess what? I had a fair value gap. So I got overconfident. Look at this. Boom. Fair value gap right here, right? And so I'm excited. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to let this runner run all day. Boom. Fair value gap right here. So I snatched a couple at first just to be cautious. Took another one right here. And then I had a runner. I seen these two fair value gaps. So I'm thinking, man, this thing is going to flush down all day. Let's go down to the Paradise City. Negative. You know what price did? It just hit, because it's a chop day. Hit the bottom, close to the bottom of this range. Didn't even come down to here. Stayed within the 5-minute ORB. And took out both of these fair value gaps. Came up to this level. Chopped around again. And this is chop. Look at this. This is garbage. So I got stopped out for like $65 on that runner when I had like 250. So it's frustrating. So I ended the day, look, $26 or $24 negative on this account. I had other accounts. I made money on one. I lost on another. But this was the main account I was trading today. And I'm done. Done for the day. You cannot trade this, gentlemen. This is trash. I am not. Once I see, listen, and you say NASDAQ sniper, how do you know it's trash? Guess what? Look at this. I knew not, look at it. See this trash? This is trash. This is untradeable crap. Garbage. Excuse my French. When I got this huge, you say, how do you know it's going to be trash? Well, when I got this huge fair value gap that's taken out, I get a big liquidity sweep, inverted hammer, which means we should start tanking 300-400 points with two fair value gaps. Let's, baby, and we're off. You would think with all this selling pressure, we'd be going down all day. Negative. Once these fair value gaps got taken out, I said, man, this is rangy chop day. It's chop day. It's time to go home. This was the last one. We had this last little hope of maybe it might transform into something else. We had a fair value gap. I'll show you this one right here. And then I'm done with this video. You just have to know what chop days look like. Right here, it looked nice. Then guess what? It got filled. So you know what? This is range day. I just stay away. I just walk away. You know, some people know how to play it. You got to snatch your profits. On a range day, I got in a good entry right here. But now I know, just stake your profit down here. Don't expect a breakout. These are the days that the fair value gaps can fool you, gentlemen. These are the only days that huge fair value gaps absolutely mean nothing. On a range day, look at the range. So, and look, we're still trading with inside this 5-minute ORB. It hasn't even broken out. This is not a breakout day. This is not a trend day. This is still, the price is still trading in the between this little first 5 minutes. Even though it broke out, it came back in, broke out, came back in. Trash. These are days I don't personally trade, gentlemen. We can make money on trend days. We can make money on reversal days. But the days that I personally, in my system, these are days that don't fit my system. They don't fit my plan. Right? On these choppy days, these are days that I just walk away. Do 1 or 2 trades, figure out that it's a chop day, I just walk away. These days don't fit my plan. And you have to, as a trader, you have to be okay with that. You have to say that some days aren't my days to trade. That's not my pitch.